And when you're working in a sport like rugby where it is combative, how do you find that fine balance between, I guess, for the athletes that do need strength training from a body composition point of view, like they need that critical mass, that body armor, but then you're also trying to, like Eddie Jones's team, you're trying to make them fast as well.
I try to emphasize all the time that if you're in rugby and you want to have more body mass, it should just be in your upper body. It should never be in your lower. And when I showed that the under-20s had bigger legs than the national team, so you should never ever do any hypertrophy training for your lower body because it's detrimental for your running. Just as a thrower should be very careful with anything that's hypertrophy training for the upper body because it's very bad for your throwing. So that's what I try to emphasize, right? If you need more body mass, make sure it's around your shoulders to protect yourself for injury. The second thing I try to get across is that you should eliminate all counter movements in all exercises. Don't allow any counter movements because the counter movement is a way to take out slack. And if you take out slack by making a counter movement, you lose time, and you cannot afford to lose time on the field. You have to do it from co-contractions. So that's basically the two first steps that you take. And then you have to convince people that that is the way forward. And also something I noticed, for instance, with a team I worked with, there were 5 or 6 players who could not do any heavy resistance training because heavy resistance training already ruined their back. And they had to do other training, like jump training, and they were just as strong in their legs as when they do heavy resistance training. So you're hardly needed. But also world champion, double world champion, high jump, never touched the weight in his life. He was afraid he would become heavier. Still became world champion twice. So the thing that you need without any restrictions, right? There's a lot of weight around it. And again, weigh the negatives and the positives.